I've asked Iris to record this for me because I don't know how much longer I can continue telling this story. And it actually is part of our theme. Okay, so I came to Sidmouth in 1994. I couldn't dance because of my bad back, so I ended up going to storytelling circles. And I ended up in a workshop with Dan Ketting, tell your own personal story. And I thought, I don't have a personal story. Walked out the workshop and I thought, oh my goodness, I remember something. Back in 1979, as a Morris dancer, I danced with New Esperance Morris, a women's team in the north part of London. And we'd been invited to a international festival. It was in St Matins in the St Martin's in the Fields, thank you, right next to Trafalgar Square. And it was the usual kind of things, samosas, saris, steel drums, and we were the English contingent. And in those days we wore brown skirts, brown shirts, aprons and boaters. We were emulating the street girls, flower girls of the 1900s. But I can tell you, in July, it's a very hot kit to wear. So anyway, everything was going on nicely in the fair. We got up to dance, and we danced. And as we came off to get a breath, we could hear a distant sound of drumming. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. We got up to do our second dance, and we danced again, and that drumming was louder. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. We came off again. At this point, the word was going around the whole of this fair, the fete, that in fact, the drumming, it was the National Front. And they were marching down St Matins Lane, and they were going to rally behind us in Trafalgar Square. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. It was louder and louder and louder. And it was so loud, we could hardly think, how are we going to listen to the music? And then a woman just standing by us came up. Now, I can't tell you what she looks like. All I can tell you was that she had a load of silver bracelets on her wrist. Please, she said, keep dancing. We looked at each other, looked at the sound, but also looked at all the people around us. And so we went on again. We had our sticks, and we danced. And we danced and we danced. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. By the time we finished, we could not hear our musician. But at the end of the alleyway, you could see those Union Jacks going by and by and by. And you could feel the tension rising and the coldness on your backs. And in front of us was our musician. And next to her was the woman with the silver bracelets, just stroking them gently. Our squire called out, "Dance on, gentleman soldier." And we danced. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. We couldn't hear the music, but what we knew was our souls. And we clashed high, we clashed low, we clashed high, we clashed strong. We were not going to be dominated. We were not going to be overwhelmed. By the time we finished our dance, the National Front had gone by. They were decked down at Trafalgar Square. Their drums still drumming, but much fainter now. The applause that we got from the audience that day was greater than I've ever heard before or ever heard since. And we came off. We were exhausted. We were tired. We were sweating. And the woman with the silver bracelets came up and she said, "Thank you for dancing. You must always keep dancing. You must never let them win." I couldn't say a word. Couldn't say a word. And I just caught her eye. And she looked at me. And then she just showed her arm where her bracelets dropped. And there were the numbers tattooed there. And then she turned and she walked away. After then, I kept dancing. And when I couldn't dance anymore, I started telling. And I'll keep dancing in my heart. I'll keep telling. And I'll never let them win. Thank you.